Everybody, this will be an analysis of the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. This is meant to help you understand the document, not to help you do homework as a lazy bum. Alright, so if you're legitimately having problems with this, this is the area, or this is the section that is meant to help you with this. Okay? So in the previous reading, previous YouTube video, I read the document and I highlighted things as I went through it. And this will be hopefully a short kind of little review of the document. Okay, so let's get started with kind of the first paragraph here. The representatives of the French people organized as the National Assembly, believing that the ignorance, neglect, or contempt of the rights of man are the sole cause of public calamities and of the corruption of government. So really that first kind of two lines there is saying that basically the situation that France is in is because of the ignorance and the neglect and the contempt of the rights of man. Okay, and that is why they're having problems in France. Okay, because people aren't respecting, because people aren't respecting the rights of man and the citizen. And so really kind of the main idea of this section is that, you know, the ignorance of the French government and their lack of respect for the rights of man is the reason France is in the horrible situation they're in. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory there. And basically it goes on to say that people have God-given rights. Alrighty, so let's go to the articles here. The nice thing about this document is it does kind of in bullet form list all of the important things. So here's another thing we need to look at. In the first article, it's basically saying that all men are equal. Okay, I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, it's also saying though that social distinctions may be founded only upon the general good, which is kind of implying that there can be no noble class. Alright? Second one. The aim of all political association is the preservation of the natural rights of man. Okay? So this is basically saying humans have God-given rights. Rights. And they are life, property, security, and not be impressed. There's my student aide walking in while I'm doing a little video cast. Hello, Sarah Anderson.
Hi.
The third article is the principle of all sovereignty resides essentially in the nation. What they mean by that is sovereignty means where does the power come from? So the power comes from the people. So power of the people. Article 4, the important line there is that liberty consists in the freedoms to do everything which injures no one. Okay? And so I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But basically, you have the right to do whatever you want as long as you do not harm someone else or infringe on their rights. Okay? Article 5, law can only prohibit such actions as are hurtful to society. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Basically saying that laws can only prohibit bad things from happening. Okay? Article 6, every citizen has a right to participate personally through his representative. Okay? So what this statement's basically saying is that all people, and back then it meant only men of 25 or older, but all people have a right to vote and participate in government. It also says farther down that all people have a right to work in certain government positions. Okay. Number 7, no person shall be accused, arrested, or imprisoned except in the cases prescribed by the law. This is pretty self-explanatory as well. It's basically saying that if one is sent to jail or fined, they must have broken a law. Alright. Article 8. The law shall provide for such punishments only as strictly and obviously necessary, and no one shall suffer punishment except it be legally inflicted in virtue of law passed before the commission of the offense. It's basically saying that kind of a punishment must fit the crime. Okay? It's pretty self-explanatory. Punishments must fit the crime. Alright? Article 9. As all persons are held innocent until proven guilty. I think that's super self-explanatory. Innocent until proven guilty. Number 10. No one shall be disquieted on account of his opinions, including his religious views. The way I interpret this one is that it is protecting the rights of the minority. So just because you don't agree with the majority of people, they can't just shut you up. You have a right to your opinion. So it's freedom of speech, but it's a very specific article on freedom of speech. Article 11 should look very familiar to you guys. Basically, it's freedom of speech in all its forms. Okay. Number 12 is basically the right of the government to create a military. But the military only exists to defend the people, not to promote the advantage of an individual. So in the past, kings would go to war so they could get more land. And if you think about it, it's a horrible thing, because you're fighting, you're risking your life, and you might be killed in this battle, and you are fighting for nothing. You are basically fighting for someone else's wealth, and they are saying that that is not okay. Number 13, a common contribution is essential for the maintenance of the public forces and the cost of administration. This is basically saying that the government has the right to tax people according to their means. Okay? So it has to be a reasonable tax. Article 14, all the citizens have a right to decide either personally or by their representatives as to the necessity of the public contribution. So basically what that means is citizens have a right to have some input in how much they are taxed. Okay. Number 15, Article 15 basically means that the people have the right to know what their public officials are doing. So they can't have secret meetings, they have to be very open with what is going on. That's what that is saying. And number 17 is pretty straightforward as well. It's basically the right to own public property. Or I'm sorry, the right to own private property. Okay, so here's like I said, it's kind of a real simple way of kind of summing up the Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen. Okay, so anyways, hope this helps. Feel free to watch it as much as you'd like.